What's up everyone, Mike here from The Art of Guitar. You'll have to excuse my voice, I just got done being sick for a week, so had a full week of playing Super Metroid and practicing guitar, and I came up with sort of a cool exercise that I used to do a little bit, but I never really explored it to this depth, and then I realized that you can use this over all of the color system for the 3-note per string patterns that we talked about on the website. And today we're just going to take one of the shapes, okay? And I'm going to explain the pattern. And if you guys know all 7 shapes, you can just use it for all that. Otherwise, if you want to come to the website, we'll go through each shape one at a time. And then at the very end, we'll connect them all together to create kind of this ultimate exercise. So we're going to stay in the key of C major because I just want you to use all natural notes going across the neck. The reason I love this exercise is because not only is it a good physical exercise, but it's also good for mapping out the neck and knowing your way around. Today, like I said, though, we're just going to stick with the one shape, and we're going to start here on F, so the 6th string, 1st fret. And if you walk your way up, starting on F, you're going to have what's called the Lydian mode. Sounds pretty cool. Joe Satriani uses that mode quite a bit. But keep in mind, it's just the notes of the C major scale, okay? So let's go through all the notes first. F, G, A, the next string B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. We got kind of a big stretch here. Some people elect to use their ring finger for the middle note. That's fine too. But I prefer doing it like this. So the pattern, if you break it up into little chunks, actually seems kind of simple, but when you start to flow through it, you're going to see that it really exercises a lot of different things. You get legato exercise, and the way that I just modified it recently, now we have economy picking as well. So it's kind of cool. Plus you can see that your left hand gets a good stretch workout because a lot of these 3-note per string scales, as you know, require a lot of reaching. So don't forget your finger splits and finger yoga, okay? All right, let's start off. The first thing we do is we hit the first note and we're going to hammer on the next 2. So that's kind of a legato section of this exercise. Then we find ourselves on the next string. The picking is very important. So actually I have this camera set up just so you can see my right hand. I'm going to be putting up the tab as well. Pay attention to the strokes because it's very important. Okay, so here's what we have. Now you notice with economy picking, I basically went like that. See how the pick is just waiting right there to be used? So that's huge in economy picking. All right, then what we do, after we play the B, is we're going to play the C, but we're going to pull back off to the B. Watch how I do this with the picking as well. So there's your first upstroke. So after the B, we upstroke the C and pull off back to the B. Now, the very last thing we need to do is come back to the previous string, but we're going to play the last note we played on that string, which is A. So we get this. Now that's our first grouping, okay? What you do is you map that across the entire shape. And I'm going to stop in between the little sections just to show you how it's all put together. See how I just went to the next set of strings and the shape goes like this? Fret-wise, it's 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5. So I just repeated that same pattern on those 2 strings. Picking was exactly the same. The legato was exactly the same. And it sounds similar. You're just creeping up that scale as you go. Okay, let's start over. So into my ring finger there. You'll notice at the end you run out, you don't have to finish that pattern, you're halfway through and then you stop. Okay, this time I'm going to do this without pausing. Okay, I'm going to add a click, and we're going to do all the click stuff on the website, but I just want to show you how to relate this to some timing. That's if you do eighth notes. You'll probably notice it's an odd number that you're doing in those patterns, so it kind of throws itself off the beat. But as long as you keep just a steady click, you should be able to follow something. Okay, let's double that speed. Remember, I'm jumping from eighth notes to 16th notes. You don't have to do that. You could take your time and slowly bring up that tempo. Okay, so that's a lot of fun. You really start to feel the workout happening right away just because of that legato. And then your right hand is really feeling it too, because it's got a big responsibility keeping every pattern exactly right. Now, before we move on to the next shape, by the way, if you're following the color form system, this is the green form. We're going to be moving into the blue territory now. So as you know, there's going to be big stretches if you know the system. But before we move up to the blue, let's stay in green for the YouTube version of this. And I want to go backwards because there was a lot of confusion in this. And when I was sitting there trying to figure out exactly what the mirror image was, it threw me off a little bit because I wasn't used to the economy version of this. So you're going to have to do some crazy double upstrokes on this that you might not be used to. So let's go to the very top of this form here. And we're going to go ahead and go from the 7th fret to the 5th fret to the 3rd. We're going to do a pull off starting with an upstroke. All right, now the part that feels really weird to me. Now we do another upstroke when we get to the 2nd string, and we're going to hit the F in this case, the 6th fret. Now you just did an upstroke, so your hand is just waiting to do a downstroke. So go ahead, we're going to play the 5th fret to the 6th fret hammer-on the 2nd string, and it's going to reverse our momentum a little bit. Just like the previous one, when we started down, came up, came back for one note, we have to do that this time as well. So how do you put all that together? It goes like this. Kind of like a twisted version of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Now if you notice, I did an upstroke on that extra note when we went back for it, the G, because we're going to continue that momentum as we move to the next set of strings, just like before when we were going the other direction. This whole thing's about being smooth, but being very accurate. Okay, let's do the whole thing without putting the gaps in there. Pull-offs can be a little tricky. You notice when you get from the 2nd string to the 3rd string, there's this weird little shift that we have to do. I always call it the B string compensation. What happens is you're supposed to end up here on the 3rd string, but in between I end up using these 2 fingers because I have to come back and then I switch to the actual position that I want to be in. So watch how that works in slow motion here. Some people ask, can I just do this? You could do that, but it sort of feels weak when you have your fingers like that. I'd much prefer you do this, and then when you make the big switch, then go to those fingers. All right, let's do this 16th notes. 3, 4. All right, I know this is a pretty challenging exercise, but I'd like to see if it works out for you guys, and let me know in the comments if you feel a lot of improvement in all those areas: legato, economy picking, knowledge of the neck, of the modes and the color system. And for the rest of this, let's go to the real website and I'll catch you there. Thanks guys. See ya.